Hey guys, AC here. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video, and I do apologize guys, but I have a very good reason. For the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've had this inflamed sinus, because of which I have sort of lost my ability to smell. My ability to smell and taste is probably 30% of what it used to be. So as you can imagine, doing a fragrance review without your full smelling ability is a bit difficult. In fact, it's pointless. So I've been waiting patiently to get better, but it'll take time. So I thought, while I wait, why don't I do a list of fragrances which will help everybody. So summertime, the problems you have is longevity, and also you don't want to smell only citrus fragrances, right? So what I decided to do was do a list of fragrances which are A, inexpensive, B, are great for summer, and C, they're not only citrus fragrances, right? But before we start, scent of the day, Chanel's classic Pour Monsieur. I'm going to do a full review of this. As I said, I can't smell the entirety of a fragrance, but I got 2 compliments today wearing this old classic. I'll do a full review of it soon. But there you go, that was my SOTD. So let's start. What I've done is guys, I've got about 7-8 fragrances, and I'll put the names of the fragrances in the description, and I've ranked them by longevity. Yeah. So let's start with the fragrance which doesn't get a lot of talk. In fact, most of the fragrances in this list don't get any talk. Most, not all. So let's start with something which doesn't get any talk at all. It's actually Eau de Cologne. It is by Murray and Lanman, and it's called Florida Water. This thing is absolutely cheap as chips. As you can see, this is a 450 ml bottle, I believe. You can get this for less than 20 pounds. And it smells absolutely amazing, guys. So this has got citrus, lavender, and some other notes which I can't remember. What it smells like is a very invigorating, fresh, almost clean and very effervescent. Yeah, it's got this sparkly quality. The problem with this is it doesn't last more than half an hour, max 1 hour. Yeah, so you can spray liberally, and I can show you if you want. You can spray. It's a splash bottle. You can go as much as that, and just you're sorted. If you're going out for breakfast, on a Saturday morning, beautiful sunny morning, just, for half an hour, if you visit your favorite cafe wearing this, I'm sure you'll get a discount because it smells so good, you're bound to get attention at least. But don't have expectations from longevity. Longevity is pretty ordinary, half an hour max. So that was it, Murray and Lanman Florida Water. I'll put it in the description. Second is a fragrance which doesn't get any talk. In fact, I'll do a full review of this. This fragrance is by Yves Rocher, and it's called Cuir Vetiver. Yeah? And the most astounding thing about this fragrance is this smells exactly like the dry down of a very expensive fragrance. And that very expensive fragrance is Byredo's Bal d'Afrique. And Byredo's Bal d'Afrique is my absolute favorite for summer. In fact, I've done a full review of Bal d'Afrique. Do check it out. You'll see why I rate it so highly. It's one of the most brilliant modern fragrances in my collection. So let's talk about what Cuir Vetiver smells like, and it's by Yves Rocher. I'll put it in the description. This smells like the dry down of Bal d'Afrique. Guys, Bal d'Afrique has this amazing combination of citrus and vetiver, and the vetiver note they've used is so authentic. It is so much like real grey vetiver, like Tom Ford's grey vetiver. It's got this amazing, refreshing yet woody and manly vetiver. You get that here, and you get this beautiful juicy orange, very classy scent. You can easily wear this to work. It shines in summer heat. It is fantastic. Only problem is the longevity I get from this is about 4 hours. That's why it's so low in the list. But still, 4 hours of longevity in high heat is not a bad thing. I enjoy wearing this when I'm dressed up daytime. Yeah, so I'll wear this to work, although it will not last. And the bottle, it's a 50 ml bottle. You can get this for less than £20. In fact, I paid £17.50 directly from the Yves Rocher website. Fantastic, fantastic summer fragrance. Absolutely brilliant. Very classy. Next on my list in terms of longevity is another fragrance which, this one gets a lot of talk. I adore this. It is Lalique White. I don't have to talk about this fragrance a lot. It's one of the most heavily reviewed fragrances on YouTube channels. This fragrance is so unique and smells so wonderful because it uses this amazing quality. This is a creamy, lemony, woody scent. Not many can claim that, right? It has got this amazing creamy undertone, very bright, very classy, and you can easily wear this to work, and tons of compliments. This has got a couple of notes which don't get used a lot: lemon leaves and tamarind. So it's got this lemony, tangy feel to it on a creamy layer. It has also got very potent pencil shavings vibe, which makes it amazingly manly. Fantastic fragrance, such a safe fragrance for people who are just beginning, and shines in high heat. In fact, shines in sunny weather. If it's sunny, wear this, guys. I go liberal. I go 8 to 10 sprays on my shirt if I have to, and I get about 5 to 6 hours of longevity. Fantastic fragrance, guys. Can't praise this enough. One of the best summer fragrances. This is a 125 ml bottle. It can't cost you more than £25. If it is, you're buying it in the wrong place, yeah? So, next on my list is one of my absolute favorites in terms of citrus fragrances. As you can see, I'm trying to give it a good mix. So this one is superb citrus, superb. It is called Eau De Rochas. I don't know whether you can see the name, but I'll put it in the description. But the bottle, look at the bottle. It is basically droplets of water, yeah, on stationary water. It's creating ripples. That's the effect this fragrance has, guys. This is also one of those fragrances which has not been reviewed a lot on YouTube. I think there are about 3 reviews on this fragrance. Man, the opening of this fragrance will absolutely mesmerize you. It's one of the most amazingly invigorating, fresh, lemony, zesty openings I have. Of all the fragrances I have, if I really crave a citrus-based summer fragrance, I go for this. This is my 3rd or 4th bottle, and it's not very expensive. It's under £20. When you smell this, you will become an absolute fan of this fragrance. There's only one caution. All the 3 fragrances I showed you, they are ageless. Anybody can wear it, from teenagers to any age. This one, in its dry down, has a couple of classical notes. For example, it uses a note of oak moss, it uses a note of carnation, I believe, and it also has sage. So as you know, these were the notes which were used in the 70s. This is a fragrance which was launched in the 70s. So the dry down of this fragrance is very manly, fougere-like. It may not appeal to very young people. So for the young people, I'd recommend that you actually try it. But I think chances are the opening of this fragrance, the beautiful bergamot, lime and lemon, it'll convert you. You wouldn't have smelled a better lemony fragrance in my opinion. One of the best lemony fragrances I have in my collection, guys. Fantastic. Performance. This projects a lot, but the performance is again 5 to 6 hours tops. If you go heavy, which you can, this performs about 5 to 6 hours. Projection is superb, so worth a try. Do sample it. Next on my list, again, is a fragrance which is so elegant and so invigorating, very, very uplifting. It's one of the most amazingly uplifting fragrances. I've reviewed it. It is by L'Herbolario, and the name of the fragrance is Absinthium. Now the thing is, the hint is in the name, guys. The moment you smell it, you will know that this is a summer daytime invigorating scent. It really lifts you up, very refreshing. And what I like about this fragrance is, it's got a note of absinthe, which is woody, herbal, and very energetic, effervescent, energetic. When you spray it, you also get a undertone of petroleum, literally. Yeah. So if you're not a fan of that, you'll have to bear it for half an hour. After half an hour, it turns into this amazing, fresh, invigorating woody scent. Superb, absolutely superb. Longevity, I'd say about 6 hours. Yeah. You'll have to go heavy on your shirt, 4 or 5 sprays, couple under your shirt. It'll give you at least 6 hours in high heat. And this is so nice. It projects so well. Anybody who smells you will really be touched. And so rare, nobody talks about these fragrances, right? All of the fragrances apart from Lalique White are very, very less talked about. This one definitely isn't. And I've done a full review of this. Do check it out if you're more interested. This is a 50 ml and I paid 29 euros for this, which roughly translates to about 24 to 25 pounds. Next. The next fragrance on my list is one of those fragrances which I consider my absolute favorite cheapie. Of all the fragrances I have, this is my favorite cheapie. And it is Paul Sebastian PS Fine Cologne. Superb. I love this fragrance. This was released in the 70s. And it is basically a classical barbershop which is extremely zesty. So this is a barbershop. This is a classical barbershop. The difference between them is there's a huge difference in the energy levels of this fragrance. It's got this amazingly zesty, very refreshing, very invigorating opening, which I'm an absolute fan of. The florals, this is basically a fougere, so it has this lavender, lemon, bergamot top, and you have this middle which is a floral heart. The florals have been executed absolutely beautifully, guys. I'm a massive fan of the florals in the middle, and it also has oak moss and aldehydes. So if your tastes are more aligned towards the modern fragrances, do give this a sample because it harks back to a bygone era, but it definitely doesn't smell dated. It absolutely doesn't. It is fantastic. Longevity and projection. This thing is a monster. It projects like hell and it lasts for a long time. I would say at least in UK conditions, it lasts easily for about 8 hours and it projects wonderfully. So if you go heavy, you might give everybody a headache. So you need to really be conservative with this one. Yeah, test it out, see what works for you. For me, 4 sprays, 2 under my shirt, 2 on my shirt, done. But it smells so amazing. If you like a little bit of retro fragrances, you will love this. Do give it a try. Next on my list is a monster. It's a powerhouse summer fragrance, one of the best in the line. It's Rasasi's Wow. I've done a full review of this fragrance. Do check it out. This fragrance is all about woods and vetiver. In fact, you might have to bear the first half an hour of this fragrance because when you spray this, it smells like freshly cut log of wood. In fact, it smells as if you're standing next to a lumber mill. Freshly cut cedar. This is all about cedar. Cedar is very prominent, and as you know, cedar has this woody, herbal, very attractive scent. But this is really strong, yeah. And then vetiver comes along with many notes. For example, I think this has got a note of pimento, I can't remember, which is a chili. It also has citrus notes at the top, which make it ideal as a woody, citrusy scent for summer. It's very different than any of the fragrances I showcased. Do check out the detailed review if you're more interested. Fantastic performance, fantastic projection. More than 12 hours, easy, no problems at all. And great longevity. Go conservatively. 3 to 4 sprays should be enough. Next on my list is a fragrance which I think is very unique in this list. It is Oud Al Misk by Rasasi. This fragrance, when you spray it, smells like lemonade, freshly made lemonade. Imagine the finest lemonade you've ever tasted. This is lemonade, and it is 12 hours of lemonade. Yeah, it's got a fantastic artificial oud note at the bottom, which stays for a long time. If you spray it on your shirt, you'll see there's spices and woody notes which come out a bit more. If you spray it on your skin, it smells like you're wearing lemonade. It is fantastic. If you live in a very hot country, this will really appeal to you, because who doesn't want to smell lemonade if you live in a very hot country? Fantastic, slight hint of sweetness. It smells divine. Longevity, 12 hours plus. It projects a lot, and you can go heavy because it will not give you a headache. It will not upset anybody. Totally work friendly. So that brings me to the end of the list. One important point I forgot to mention. I mentioned that this smells like Bal d'Afrique. This one here, Eau De Rochas, when you smell it, when you first spray it, it smells like Acqua di Parma's Bergamatto di Calabria, which is an amazing fragrance with very poor longevity. It doesn't last more than 2 hours. This thing at least lasts 5 to 6 hours, yeah? So just keep that in mind. I'll do a full review of this very soon. As soon as my smelling ability is back to normal, I'll do a full review. Hope you like the list, guys, and if you do decide to try any of them, I hope you'll not be disappointed. Take care, till next time. AC, bye-bye.